Us now, the Lieutenant Governor-elect from the great Commonwealth of Virginia, Winsome Sears. First, congratulations, and I want to thank you. I have chronicled on radio and TV for years. Every 2 years, every 4 years, conservatives, Republicans are racist. They're sexist. They're misogynist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic. They want dirty air and water and want to kill grandma and grandpa. I'm sick of it. I was raised by parents that grew up very poor, that were good Christian parents, and that believed, as I believe, that we're all created by the same God. But this card is played in politics every single cycle, and you took that on. I appreciate what you did.
Well, here's the thing. When you look at a birth certificate for a black child, does it say you must vote Democrat every time, all the time? Otherwise, you're not black? And for the white child, does it say you can vote any way that you want, any choice that you want, always and forever? I mean, who made up those rules for us? You know, and so the Democrats, they really don't have the solutions. And so when you look at the Democrat-run cities, the Democrat-run counties, states, they're losing. The neighborhoods are the worst. The schools are the worst. Everything, it's the worst. And so they move from Democrat-led states, come to Republican-led states, and they ruin it. Forgetting when you came here, it was fine. And now it's changed because you brought the same policies with you that ruined the state you just left. So, you know, what I want for us as black people, just leave us alone. If you want to vote Democrat, then do so. You want to vote libertarian? Do so. Whatever you want to be it. This is America. This is freedom. Who died and left you in charge of all of us as black people so that we could be corralled into doing what you want us to do? I thought you said that you are the tolerant folks. If you're tolerant, that means you allow other ideas to percolate. You don't want just ideas that you agree with, because then you see we wouldn't be living in America. We would be living in a totally different country. Nobody wants that.
Let me ask you this. One of the accomplishments that Donald Trump had is pre-COVID, he was able to set record after record after record. Low unemployment for African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, women in the workplace, youth unemployment, and African American youth unemployment. Conservative policies worked. I feel that this process happens every 2 and 4 years, and the Democrats, they go to the same playbook. And then I look at Democratic cities run by Democrats for decades, states run by Democrats for decades, and there is violence in the streets. There's no law and order. There's no safety and security. The school systems have been destroyed in many cities. I'd like to see the Republican Party reach out deep and wide into every city, every town, every ethnic group, every American, fellow American, and offer another way. And maybe Republicans have failed on that front.
Well, I tell you, the first person who ever really talked about black business equals black power was Richard Nixon. Black business equals black power. Imagine that. All this time it appears that Nixon was a homeboy. What we're going to do is we need someone who has sensible ideas, sensible solutions, because, you know, the message is important, but the messenger is equally important. And what I want to say to black people, Asian people, whatever, minorities, Latinos, whatever, don't allow political parties to divide us. Don't allow political parties to use whatever grievances that have been historically against you to force you to look at them as the savior so that they can swoop in and think they're saving you when all they're doing is pitting one race against the other, one race against the other. You'll notice, for example, that what was happening with Asians, it was young black men, and they were attacking Asians, but nobody wanted to say anything about it. If you can't identify the problem, then how can you come up with a solution? So We've got to stop this divisiveness. There's a psalm that I live by. I used it in my campaign, and it's Psalm 133. How good and pleasant it is when brothers and sisters live together in peace and harmony. That's what we want.
You know, it could be a country where everybody prospers. And I feel in many, many ways this country has failed certain people. And these are, I look at the solutions, it's not that complicated. I mean, school choice would be a pretty easy thing to accomplish if we really want to create an environment where people can pursue happiness. Law and order is really not that difficult. Rudy Giuliani, for example, turned New York City around at a time where they were experiencing almost 3,000 murders a year. They brought it down to 300. So there are answers. I believe conservatism is a better philosophy to get us there. What are your plans now that you're going to be taking on this new position?
Well, you know that the lieutenant governor is really a heartbeat away from the governor, and so that really is the primary responsibility. But then
the governor-elect is listening right now. He's saying, I better hope this thing is ticking okay. We wish him well.
Right. So you check his medical records. You check his medical records every morning. But no, the other thing that you do as a lieutenant governor is you preside over the Senate. You're not a member of the Senate, but you do bring them to order. You're the parliamentarian. And here in Virginia, the current lieutenant governor, who is a Democrat, has broken, I believe, 54 different tie votes. And so that's something else that I'm looking forward to. 20 years ago to the day last night, I was elected to the Virginia House of Delegates. And now I'm here going to be a part of the Senate. And that's just so amazing to me that I, as the little girl, 6 years old, came off that Boeing 737 Pan Am, landed at JFK, and lived in the Bronx. And here I am now, the immigrant. I'm not even first-generation American. I'm the immigrant, and I get this opportunity. And I worked for it. I worked hard for it. I sure didn't do anything special, but I did stay in school and study, and that's what I did. And you have to prepare for the path that you want. I prepared. I went to college. I went to college the hard way. I had 3 children by the time I went to college, and they were all under 5 because I wanted to go to law school. And so you have to do what you have to do, and America will allow you to do that. I'm not saying America doesn't have problems. Heaven knows there are no countries where there aren't problems. If it's not racism, it's colorism, it's classism, it's sexism. We find ways to divide ourselves. But you see, the people at the border are dying to get in because they know if they could just get their foot on American soil, the trajectory of their lives will change. That's what America can do. Just take the opportunities that are here.
We want to congratulate you on your big victory, and we want to invite you on the program often. Wish you the best. Congratulations. It's an amazing life story that you have to tell, and I want to learn more about it. Thank you so much, Winsome Sears.
Oh man, what a great comment there from Winsome Sears, the new superstar of the party. Winsome Sears saying there is no birth certificate pinning of a Democrat voter on a black person's birth certificate, nor do they pin a Republican voter or any voter on anyone's birth certificate, regardless of who they are or where they're from. Stop thinking in those terms. It's a false paradigm. It's a paradigm designed to separate us and to divide us as a country. We should stop looking at race altogether. We are all Americans. We are all part of the human race, and we all have intrinsic value before God. So stop buying into the sick lie. Winsome Sears, a breath of fresh air. What a champion. Honestly, I see a very, very bright future for her in the party. We needed a messenger like this, and she is just the left's worst nightmare. God bless her. What a great hit.